Welcome back to Sonic and Mario Tidbits. I'm Skull902 and today we're looking at Season 4, released between 2011 and 2018, and I'll get to why the gap was so large here in the video. Originally, this season was meant to be a 29-episode long parody of Sonic 06, but I realized a year and a half before the season started that I wasn't prepared for such a long haul, plus the lack of needed sprites, and honestly, thank God, because I'd probably still be making episodes today considering the delay. Instead, we've got a kidnapping plot. Sonic, Mario, Luigi, and Tails are out to search for their friends. Without any further ado, let's get into it.
Sonic! Remember when I said that my radar wasn't working properly?
Yeah?
I think I just found out what's wrong with it. I'm gonna go work on it.
Hey, Tails. Think I can join in and see you fix it?
That actually does sound interesting.
Yeah, what the Mario said.
This is not only a reference to something that Luigi would say every now and then in Stupid Mario Brothers, but is also a nice excuse to have our main four characters for the season absent for what's about to come.
Let's just see them hang out when I capture them with my egg butterfly trap.
Great. So, where is it?
It's off screen. Director couldn't even draw a net. Now that's just lazy.
Yeah, really. What a slacker.
I think I actually did try drawing that net, but it just did not work out. I was not making it look natural, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Like, I couldn't do the flimsy netting, and that drove me nuts, so it's off screen.
Oh, please. You don't even know what disappointing is. Back when I was a little girl, the school was doing a play and I had 3 parts in it. I wanted to do a 4th part, but they said it would be too cumbersome and gave the part to someone else, even though they had already asked me to do it in the first place.
Yeah? Who'd you lose the part to?
A girl I worked with on a few projects in art class.
KN's interesting pronunciation of cumbersome aside, this little bit is a reference to how I was originally going to have her voice Amy once Star Woodpatch became unavailable, but Ames, I decided to ask her instead, essentially to lighten the load on KN because she was voicing so many different characters that I was like, you know, if she's voicing Amy, maybe that's a little too much. But I thought that this conversation between Amy and Rouge would be a fun way to put a lampshade on that and, you know, make reference to it.
Well, at least your voice wasn't permanently changed by cough medicine. Yeah, I heard that stuff does some damage.
The voice-changing medicine is explicitly mentioned to be cough medicine for the first time. It went unnamed. Previously it was just medicine. Now it's cough medicine. So remember, if you drink cough medicine when you're not supposed to, it'll change your voice, at least according to the Sonic and Mario mythos.
Hi folks, it's time to kidnap you now. I guess. Yeah, so let's do this.
What?
Attack!
Rabbit improvised that, let's do this, and it plays in my mind every now and then. I love it so much. And then, I don't know if I forgot to highlight one of his lines, or if he straight up forgot to record it, but I had to fill in for Eggman on one of them, and I tried, like, mimicking the sound of his Eggman, but it just does not come across at all. It was a pretty bad attempt.
If our friends aren't around, Sonic, how are we gonna fight Eggman and Bowser? It's not like usually only you and Mario could take him down all by yourselves or something. This is important!
KN absolutely nailed the delivery on this line here. Just exactly as sarcastic sounding as I envisioned it when I wrote the script. And I remember when she turned in the lines, she was like, yeah, I did like extra takes on this because I don't know if this is the way that you wanted it to sound. And I was like, oh no, you got it on the sarcastic one. Don't you worry. Just a beautiful line read.
Oh, these guys are really good. Just you wait and see. They'll have the case done in no time.
This case sure is weird. I want a burger.
What do you mean you're not working on the case anymore?
At the time this episode came out, I was really getting into Sam and Max. So I wanted to include them somewhere in the series, and I thought this would be the way to do it. Unfortunately, there were no Sam sprites around at the time from, like, Hit the Road, so it's only Max here, which sucks, but at least I got to, like, you know, do my Max voice. But this does also screw with the idea of alternate universes in Sonic and Mario that I had at the time. because if Sam and Max are, you know, from Sonic's universe, supposedly, then, like, you know, how is Link, you know, from a different universe, or Donkey Kong, or, you know, whatever. It was weird. So not the greatest way to build up to what was going to be, at the time, Season 5, with the alternate universes. But then again, I guess if we can have Wacko Warner in there, you know, it's so weird. Little fun fact, Knuckles was actually meant to be the fourth member of this crew instead of Tails. But I wanted Tails to be there, not only because, like, he's the genius and everything, but also I felt like that I would be just taking up too much of the glory, as it were, by having all the characters, the main ones, voiced by me. And that would turn out to actually be pretty ironic later on, because had I gone with Knuckles, and I'll explain why, but I could have probably got a few more episodes out before needing to put this on hiatus and everything. So a little ironic, my decision, but for storytelling reasons, I do think that I made the right choice.
Sonic, that's probably not likely. Let's just do what we always do. Confrontation, screw up, come back, unanimated fight scene, ultimate victory.
Of course, this is a little lampshade on the series formula, so I thought that would be a funny thing to put in the script.
That must be the thing that keeps the force field online. So, what do we do?
I'm gonna decode it, but it's probably gonna take a while. Sometimes Eggman's technology is vastly different than the usual stuff, and I'm sure something like a lock-protected force field is one of those types of devices.
Now, if I remember correctly, there's a part in the IDW comic, actually, where Tails says something similar about Eggman's technology being weird. So, nice little prediction here. Unintentional, but hey, you know, you gotta take it where you can.
A Chaos Emerald? But how?
I don't know. We were just searching for different types of rock, and we came across the emerald.
You know, it's so nice to see Sonic and Luigi settling their differences so soon after they had a slight argument in the previous episode. But this does mean that Eggman's tracking technology must be really fucking borked, actually, because, you know, what he said in the first season, that, like, his computer's camera can see half the globe over and whatnot, and he can't find that one of the Chaos Emeralds is, like, literally on the grounds of his own base. Eggman, you're gonna need to check your stuff.
I'm getting so tired of this.
Shields down for 5 minutes.
Here we see some of that impulsiveness that Luigi told the cast that Mario had at the end of the first season, getting frustrated and smashing up the keypad and whatnot. So very rare in the show, but it does come back here. I decided to put this detail in even though Windows Movie Maker was going to make the quality of the video, like, terrible and nobody would notice it, but Mario's eyes when the lights are off are blue, like they are in the games, and that's because, like, with the way the sprite normally is, he's got, like, brown eyes, and that blended in with the just entirely black background, like, too much. So I made them blue to make them a little more visually distinct, but again, the picture quality does not do it justice.
I've teleported them somewhere far away from Bowser.
I don't know if it sounds this way to anyone else, but when Rabbit as Eggman says his line here, it kind of sounds like he's saying from Bowser instead of with Bowser, like the way I wrote it, which would change the meaning of the whole line. But it is meant to be with Bowser, because, I mean, you know, they're working together, so, I mean, why wouldn't he?
Oh, no, he got away.
Gotta love those really bad line deliveries back to back. Alright, so off the bat with episode 29, I'm gonna reiterate what I said in the Season 1 video about the Tails and KN bit about quote-unquote gender confusion. It was a dumb joke, shouldn't have been there in the first place, and again you can kind of look at it as Tails, the one raising the concern, being seen as the one that's, like, in the wrong for it. But again, it just shouldn't have been there. It was out of character and dumb, and I apologize for it. Production-wise, I had the assets to make this episode for a good while, actually, but around, like, the time I would have been making it, like a week after episode 28, Movie Maker really crapped out on me. And usually it would be a simple case of, like, rebooting it in Windows, but it just was not taking for whatever reason. So For Christmas that year, I got a copy of Vegas Movie Studio, and I wanted to edit on that, but it was very intimidating to someone who was only used to Movie Maker before, so I wanted to get more used to it. And then, by the time I did, it ran pretty slow on my Windows XP computer, so I didn't know if I wanted to do the episode there or not. So it just kind of languished for a while until Movie Maker was operational again the next spring. So I'm sorry for how long this one took to come out.
Maybe I could break our way out of here with a spin dash.
No, no, no. The director would be too lazy to animate that. I mean, the walls are too thick.
This was meant to sound legit, but sounds very fake and sarcastic, which I think actually makes this line way better, in my opinion, that Mario's just kind of like, roasting me in a way, and I think it sounds funnier. Looks like Eggman apparently salvaged the Tails doll. I guess he forgave all of them for beating him up and throwing him into the basement.
Guys! Look out!
Whoa! Tails, how'd you make that thing?
I found a whole bunch of robots in the basement and decided to make a super gun out of it.
I forget exactly where Tails' BFG comes from. I think it's like the rocket or something from one of Eggman's mechs in the Sonic Advance series, like mixed together with maybe like one or two more parts. But yeah, it is kind of interesting what you can do with sprites, recontextualize them for certain purposes and whatnot.
Hey guys, I think I heard of something.
No, Luigi. It's just your imagination playing tricks on you again.
Poor Luigi, man. He gets absolutely zero respect here.
We've been kidnapped!
KN told me when she turned in these lines that she had to loudly declare that she was okay to the neighbors in her apartment after yelling about being kidnapped as Rouge. So, my apologies, KN. I'm just trying to tell the story.
Arrgh! We actually lost this one. Bowser, get their friends and let's retreat.
Here's me using yet another Eggman voice. This was actually kind of a standard for me at the time. I don't think I would be able to do the voice now, but yeah, I had to fill in for Rabbit in this episode. Also, what was with that pirate-ass arg? What? I don't.
Good thing they let me out of here to record this line.
Knuckles pointing out the situation that he's kidnapped and yet allowed to do the find out narration, so I guess that these are tied into the story. Instead of just the narrator telling the story. So, weird.
I was able to get a glimpse of our friends in those tubes. There was a box next to them, and it contained 3 Chaos Emeralds, but I got tackled before I could take them.
I can't help but feel that Eggman and Bowser having 3 emeralds, and Tails not pointing that out, like, during the fight or earlier on, is a bit of an ass pull. I suppose they would have had to get those emeralds somehow, right? But I feel like, in retrospect, that I could have written it better than I did here. I don't know if it feels the same way to you guys, but it kinda does to me. I'm just like, I don't know, I feel like they could have gotten the emeralds another way, and it could have been revealed better. The only way that this wouldn't be an ass pull is like if the hero's suspicions that it was a trap were true, but that's never revealed, and I don't think that it is, so it just, like, this part's just gonna feel weird to me, I think, for however long that I'm alive.
So, you and your guys all by yourselves, huh? Where's Egghead?
He's taking a bath.
Ew! Did we have to know that?
Another line rating that KN absolutely fucking nailed it on. I love that ew so much. His disgust is so apparent.
Are you gonna keep giving me problems?
As long as I'm on this show, bub. You can bet on it.
Do you want me to dock your pay even more?
Find out soon on Sonic and Mario. Oh, please don't cut my pay again, Mr. Director. I'll make you cupcakes.
And that's how KN's final appearance in the main series went down. One of her characters begging for leniency on a pay cut. So, not the greatest of notes. Unfortunately, KN did get really busy with college at the time, but yeah, it is weird to think that like this Rouge line here is how KN's appearances in the main series ended. Knowing that KN and some other regular actors of mine hadn't responded to my messages in a while, I decided to do what I did for Season 3 and just write the rest of the scripts that summer and get to work on them in the way of like doing my voice acting, for instance, and I think that actually really saved this season from further delay. Like, it took a while to get the next few episodes out, but at the very least, like, I had my own material there and everything, with one small exception, which I'll mention later in this video, but good forward thinking on my part, which is not something I usually did back then.
Vector, Espio, and Charmy have the emerald.
Be sure to watch more Sonic and Mario to find out.
New voice actors, so we have Shigemi Toge as Tails, and Singing Samine as Princess Peach. Yes, it is Princess Peach. I probably could have done a better job indicating that, but that's who that is. So I found these two through a series of auditions that I held between late 2012 and early 2013 on a couple different voice acting websites. It wasn't Casting Call Club, but I completely forget what those two sites were. But I held auditions because the voice acting situation was getting a little scary. I was losing some contact with previous voice actors of mine, and I needed new ones. So these two are among some of the ones that I picked out from that casting call. Shigemi Toge in particular actually auditioned for Amy at first, and won that part, but I asked him to do Tails as well because it was just taking so long for KN to respond and whatnot, and he was able to do both roles. You can hear them both in a discussion between Tails and Amy, a really old skit that I did. My first like one-off sprite skit that wasn't, you know, Sonic and Mario or anything in quite a few years, and the oldest one that's still available on the channel. But that's where I found those VAs.
Yeah, the members are Espio and Ninja, Charmy, a really hyperactive bee, and finally, Vector. Vector's very strange.
There was another guy too, but he went missing or something.
That fourth member of the Chaotix was supposed to be Mighty. As previously mentioned, the Chaotix were going to get a spin-off after Season 5, and there were going to be multiple spin-off seasons, but like the Chaotix were going to get like 3 seasons of that for their own show, and it was going to be Mighty as the fourth past member of the Chaotix, who I believe like joined like the actual police and so like screw them over in some case or something. It was supposed to be revealed in like that third and last season of the Chaotix show, but yeah, so Mighty was supposed to be that past member and betrayed the Chaotix at some point in the spin-off that never got made.
This one's gonna be a doozy.
Well, we don't want for it not to be a doozy at all, so let's get that emerald.
This line could have been written a lot better. Like, I think you get what Sonic's saying, but something along the lines of like, doozy's better than nothing would have delivered the message a lot better, I think.
Good idea to openly display that Chaos Emerald so everyone knows we have it, Charmy.
Thanks, Vector. It's possibly the smartest thing I've ever done.
I'm gonna be honest, fam. This is my favorite exchange of dialogue that I ever wrote for the show. I love it so much. Vector and Charmy are just doing this really dumb thing, and they're so proud of it. And Espio is just like, oh my god, what am I gonna do with these two? Just, I love it so much. Also, I fixed the window in the detective agency's front office, which is the front office. I mislabeled it the living room in the Season 2 video. Oops.
Well, we got arrested in Season 2. Charmy and I were good and served our sentences, but Espio decided to be dumb and break out.
Yeah, he didn't come back until a few hours after episode 26 came out.
Of course, this is a callback to episode 16 with Espio's jail sentence.
Wait, seriously? We're cutting the episode off here? That's strange.
I even put it in the text here as well, but this, you know, it's a pretty natural place to end the episode, so I don't know what he's complaining about. Like, it's a cliffhanger. You know, cliffhangers are very important to episodic storytelling. So, due to the voice actor troubles and my own personal voice acting hiatus caused by health issues, I canceled Sonic and Mario in October of 2013, so this is the first episode post-cancellation. And my plan was to wrap up the season and the series so that it didn't end on like a cliffhanger or anything like that. But it was going to be premature, and so like that was just my plan, was to get the final 4 episodes of the season out and then be done with it, change up the ending a little bit to, you know, make it climactic. And this was the beginning of that, but yeah, so from this point onward, we're building up to the end of the series.
I find this pretty pointless.
Those voice actor troubles included Shigemi Toge being unable to continue recording for Tails, so I got Hiei Fire Shadow, who is probably most known for being the voice of Tails in like everything in the mid to late 2010s, but where I know her from was being a castmate on Sonic Song 182, and she very nicely stepped in to record Tails. She did Amy for like a couple of skits of mine, and it's unused, but she did actually record some Amy lines for Sonic and Mario as well. So big shout out to Hiei Fire Shadow for coming in and recording Tails for me at a time where I was very desperate for help.
I've got an Emerald Radar too! Hada!
Rabid just has such a way about adding little bits to the lines that he's given, and I love this so much.
I choose the bad guys!
Vector!
Between this and snitching on SBO back in Season 2, I gotta question Vector here. He's not much of a friend, is he?
Twinkle Snow Zone. 3 hours. Be there.
Credit to Rabid for trying to say Twinkle Snow Zone intimidatingly. So this sprite is a full custom called the Egg Annihilator, which I called an Egg Walker for some reason. This sprite I thought was actually made by my little brother because I discovered it like through looking at his sprite files, and I just saw like this edited version that he did, but the original was made by someone else, and I didn't learn that until like much later. So my little brother did the color palette, and then I added like the emerald container on top. But again, at the time, I thought that this was just his sprite and not someone else's, which, oops.
Whoa! What is that?
This is that one exception I talked about as far as like recording my lines in advance. I forgot to do this one, and so I had to do it while my throat was still fucked up, and it really hurt to do. But I did it, and Luigi does sound sufficiently surprised.
You've got this, Sonic!
Ugh, lame, Shadow, lame.
Got ourselves a little reference to Sonic Generations and Shadow's encouragement of Sonic. It resonated, for better or worse, with the community, and I thought that it would be funny to, you know, put a lampshade hanging on how silly the line sounded coming from him. Rouge is voiced by Donnie Girl 12. I reached out to her because I don't think I had anyone win the role through either round of auditions that I set up for her, and she does sound distinct on her own, but I did notice that like it sounds a fair bit like KN's Rouge, so I thought that that would be helpful to you know, transition from one actor to the other and whatnot. Sounds very good. She was only in this episode, but appreciate the efforts.
I don't think you ain't fools understand what this thing is capable of.
You little thieves! That isn't fair!
We can hear the first part in a transition for Rabid's Eggman, so he's still doing the pitch-down voice, but he had since gotten his Samson Meteor mic, which sounded a lot better than the headset he was previously using, so an increase in quality, but also the same sort of vibe he was going for with the pitch-down voice. I did have to fill in for one line, though, and at that point, I think I used like some kind of filter on my mic, which made it sound more muffled, but it did get rid of like the background noise that I had going on, so like there was a bit of a trade-off. Unlike the last time I tried to impersonate his Eggman, I did not pitch down my own voice, so there you go. That's a little bit of trivia about that.
You see,
Hey guys, he's distracted by making his speech, and so was Bowser.
This fills me up with such joy. In fact, this reminds me of the time. Say what now? Oh, yeah, right. Dang it! Curse you heroes at taking advantage of me!
It's so ridiculous and fun, the idea of Eggman just getting up his own ass and Bowser letting it happen because it'd be funny. I loved writing that in, and it comes off pretty well, I think.
Ha ha! Losers! We've won and you're nothing!
God damn, this robot must be real powerful to have defeated our heroes while they're using their superpowers like that. Fucking incredible.
Sonic, I kept the emeralds from scattering.
I wish that I had elaborated a little more on this part with Tails preventing the emeralds from scattering, because, like, A, how, and B, it could have been explained that Eggman and Bowser had just taken them for themselves since they won the fight anyway. So, you know, I feel like that part, much like Eggman and Bowser having the 3 emeralds before, it could have just been written better.
Run!
No running for you!
Oof. Lack of a sound effect there for when the Egg Annihilator lands. That, I think, was just because I was on a time crunch and I couldn't find, like, the previous sound effect that I used for like, big landings like that, so I was like, screw it. I'll just post it like this.
Will he be able to make mincemeat out of our heroes, or will they, at full strength, be able to defeat him?
This is a reference to the mincemeat line that Eggman says to Tails before his final boss fight in his story in SA1. I always enjoyed that line reading, and I just wanted to put it somewhere, so there you go. Episode 36, the first episode in 4 years, and there's plenty of reasons for that. You know, I had computer issues. My Windows XP computer, you know, took a shit and is basically dead, and I needed the files from it because my original intention was to get the episode out as I rewrote it to be the finale. But over time, I had thought about new possibilities for Sonic and Mario, like I wrote some hypothetical extra seasons based on the ending for that one, but slightly changed. But then I kind of realized that I didn't really need the old files from my computer to do a more fleshed out series finale for the show. And I thought that I could do it better with some extra episodes. So, in 2017, I made the plan to do episode 36 as a finale for the 4th season, do a short 4-episode season 5, and just go from there to end the show. So, that's how this came about. So this is like the beginning of that last saga for the series. And, due to the time that passed and getting a better computer and stuff, this is the first episode in HD as well, so hell yeah. This episode also starts with a song by Dr. MacFox that I meant to use in the cancelled Sonic and Mario movie. And it's a pretty cool story, actually, that I had used some of Dr. MacFox's music in Season 2, and they caught wind of that, and, you know, I believe the conversation went that they thanked me for, you know, using the music, and I was like, hey, sorry, I didn't go to ask you for permission first, and they were like, no problem, my dude, use whatever you want. So I asked about, like, this original track, and was given the thumbs up for it, so Dr. MacFox, thank you so much for being a homie.
It feels like I've been being beaten up for 4 years straight.
A small reference to the delay between this episode and the previous one.
Well, I'd love to sit and chat, but I think I'm just gonna go use that currently off-screen robot of mine to kill you all now.
I was very iffy about using the Egg Annihilator sprites in this episode because of, you know, how I previously thought that my brother had made them, and, like, they're an actual custom, so I kept it off-screen in this one, just to be safe. So that's why you don't see it, despite it being, like, the big threat.
No! We had them!
Why didn't you shoot when they were just standing and talking?
Damn it. You can't tell me these things, man.
I loved that bit about Bowser letting Eggman get distracted so much that I just had to do it again. Just a fun little way to call back to the previous episode and everything after all these years.
Yeah, we're not totally helpless.
Did any of you see a weak point?
What are we gonna do?
Amy and Rouge are being voiced by Lyrical Miracle 9608, and man, how time flies, because this was the first video, actually, that Miracle voiced for me in, and The way that we met was through the Sonic Song 182 Discord server. I discovered that he was a voice actor, saw that, he was really good at doing American accents. So I took a note of that, and I liked the voices that he was doing. And so when the opportunity came, I needed some roles to be filled. I was like, "Hey, Miracle, we're friends. Would you like to be in this video?" And Miracle said yes, and he's voiced for plenty of my skits and other such videos in the time since, and I made a really good friend out of it too.
Perhaps we need some new weapons.
What is it with you and weapons, anyway?
I like them. They make me feel good.
This, of course, is a reference to the Shadow the Hedgehog game. I think I might have been inspired by that gag in LEGO Dimensions, but that's where that comes from.
What did you just do? Time portal. Don't worry about it. What? But how did you know that the emeralds could take us back in time? I didn't know for sure. Something just felt right, as if I've done it before. Convenient.
So here, Sonic 06 is placed into the canon of the show by giving Sonic the feeling he could make a time portal with chaos control. I thought that it would be a cool reference to like the original plot of Season 4, but I also liked it in the way that, so much time had passed since the show premiered. 9 years at this point. But, 06 was still pretty recent when the show first came out, so I'm kind of, calling back to Sonic history as it was when the show premiered, as Mario and Sonic are going back to the past, so that's kind of the mindset that I had for that.
Oh my god. Wow, we are idiots. Idiots indeed.
And of course, we get a chance to see where the Chaos Emeralds were in the first season before Eggman and Bowser picked them up. I thought it would be funny to make it really obvious where they were in relation to what the heroes were doing during that season. So we got this gag and more in Season 5 as well about where the emeralds were and how obvious it was, and oh god, how did we not know, and stuff like that. So I thought that would be funny. And that's Season 4. Overall, it's a coherent story, though there's still some things about the plot that raise questions. I think the humor, aside from that bit in episode 29, and voice acting showed a bit of growth as well, and then took a big leap with the finale. If there's one thing to be thankful we had that huge schedule slip for, it'd definitely be the improvements we made along the way. I can say it doesn't make me totally cringe like the first 2 seasons or feel like something's missing like the 3rd season did, and it's all set us up for the final season, which I'll talk about next time on Sonic and Mario Tidbits.